Welcome back to the Saucony English National Cross Country Championships for 2023. On the start line for you now, it's the junior men's race over 10 kilometres. Hands are on watches. I'm Scott Eburn and Philly Bounden is with me still in the commentary box. Bolesworth Castle in Chester is our venue, and this is our penultimate race of the day. The 75th junior men's 10 kilometres. I heard every 25 years they do something special, so they've actually got to crawl across the line this year.
That'll be a sight to see.
Yeah.
268 men entered for this race. One of the smaller fields of the day. Perhaps we'll see a slightly more tactical affair, as we did with the women's under-20 race.
Well, the 10k course, just slightly under 9.74. We do 2 laps. The first lap is around the yellow and red, and well, the second lap does an extension we've not seen yet for the first time. It's around about 1.7 kilometres, around about a mile extra. It's a purple loop on your map, so we have that extra towards the end of the second lap, which will be really interesting. It will be fresh ground, hopefully quite quick, but it won't have been flattened down, so we could see some soft patches as well. When you get to the junior men's as well, and like we had in the junior women's, you get a number of university teams that enter, so we shall see.
Will we see Will Barnicoat? That's the question. European champion. He has entered this race. We'll know pretty soon, I think, after this corner turns. I can see an Aldershot vest, and that does look like Will Barnicoat's in second place there. The reigning champion from Parliament Hill last year. Catching some of the numbers as they come past.
That is George Cootie at the front. 3697. Will Barnicoat just behind him. It's quite a pace and quite a move to make. The Harrogate Harrier.
Watch you back in a couple of minutes. The junior men are on their way.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Come this way on the first lap.
It's quite an early breakaway from Cootie, followed by Barnicoat. At this point, just 3 minutes into the race.
We've got 6 athletes there, another City and Norwich. Bracknell are in there as well. Well, Cootie at the front was 16th at the Northern Championships, 4th at the Yorkshires. Ran a 15:23 park run last weekend, so in good form, progressing well this winter season. Athletes just heading out from their first section of this course. Well, last weekend the World Cross Country Championships, British junior team came 5th overall. We had Ed Bird in 18th, Luke Birdseye in 28th, Jacob Deacon of Chorley. I'm not sure if he's on the start line. I'm sure he would like to have been here with a local man. 26th for Jacob Deacon, and Sam Mills of Exeter 48th. We have no idea if they are on the start line. I don't think I saw Ed Bird or Luke Birdseye or Sam Mills. I suspect Sam Mills would have been at the front, so Jacob Deacon will keep an eye out for.
Yeah, it's quite a turnaround, quite a big ask, coming back from Australia, doing that race in it was about 35 degrees out there for those boys to come back and do yet another grueling, tough championship race. Other notable entrants, we've got the Midland champ, Skips Nelson from Banbury Harriers, and the Northern champ, Matt Ramsden from Blackburn Harriers. So I can see there just in 6th place.
Jensen Connell in there of Leeds City in the blue and yellow. Just hear the feet pounding on the course. Ben Brown as well, the Southampton man in the red and white.
I think that might be Jensen Connell of Leeds City, just up there in 3rd position as well in the blue and yellow. 2nd at the Northerns a couple of weeks ago.
Matt Ramsden is in there as well in the blue with the vertical white stripe of Blackburn. So it's a good pack. It seems like there's a lot more than 200 or so athletes on the line. 268 entries for this. It seems like there's more. Maybe they're a bit taller.
Yeah, perhaps more tidily bunched. There's less gaps of hearing at this point in time. You've got the nice angle of that camera as well, shooting all the way across the field, often makes them look more bunched up than they actually are. You can see them coming across the top of the screen there, slightly more stretched out. Got the Southern champ down on the entries, Samuel Hodgson from Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow. Haven't seen him feature yet, so he might not be here today. It's quite a easy vest to pick out, the Windsor blue with the gold bands.
Yeah, I didn't spot in that leading group of 10 athletes a Windsor vest. We're going to have an interesting moment where we have some of these junior men overtaking the athletes towards the back of our junior women's race. Senior women's race. Barnicoat now finally takes to the front on this first lap. Cootie, perhaps an unexpected man towards the front in 2nd place. There is Brown of Southampton in 3rd. Just trying to work out at the moment who is that in the white vest in 4th at the moment.
Looks like it could be a Bristol vest potentially, or is that Cambridge? Could be a light blue. I think it's neither. It's 3623. That is Flynn Jennings of Bideford Athletics Club. It's a long journey all the way up from Devon. He's having a great race so far in that pack. Just chasing Cootie. Barnicoat has put a dent in this field, and he looks like he's chilling at the front there.
He's relaxed. He's got a lovely running style, hasn't he? Very smooth and controlled, and it's textbook, to be honest.
Just up there in the yellow vest is Lewis Small, the Ashford AC athlete, English schools champion last year. He's now at university and came 10th at the Bucks cross country short course this year. Similar distance to this race, I believe the short course for Bucks was about 8.3k this year. So it's be right up his street.
Well, I think the other man we got in there is Joe Porter in the white vest with the black band across the middle, the Taunton man. 6th of the English schools cross country last year and 11th in this race 12 months ago. He's certainly on course for a small improvement. Came just a second behind Lewis Small in Parliament Hill 2022. So we'll keep an eye out for him as this race progresses. Never quite sure, are you, how these races are going to go, but when a man like Will Barnicoat, and here he is on the billing, you expect him to do what he has done here, and to go so early on that first lap is pretty commendable.
Yeah, he's taken a huge chunk out of this group. You can see Coates just settling back in there in third, and he's got the right idea, working together with that chase pack. Going to be fighting for the minor medals by the looks of it at this point.
Ramsden just slipping off that leading group.
It's Elliot Smith of Newcastle just leading a pack around 15th as well.
Well, we're about to veer left in just a moment because we're heading out on a slightly different section of the course that we haven't seen yet. It's the purple or pink loop on your course map, and Barnicoat will be the first man to break ground on that side of the course. They do actually cross the road, which has some sand down on it, and the marshals are not allowing any cars to come past, so it is perfectly safe. It's still breezy up here in Chester.
So Will Barnicoat then, this is only his second race this year. Second half of a great cross-country season. See, last year winning the Liverpool Cross Challenge, winning the English National earlier in the year. He won over at El Goibar, and of course at those European Championships in Italy.
No one's going to be running on my field.
Well, he's having a great few months. Interesting that he chose not to go to the World Championships and experience a bit of life down under, but he's had a great winter campaign, and I think probably just with one eye on things like exams and the national too, you've got to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, studying over at the University of Birmingham. It's got a great distance history over there, headed up by Bud Baldaro in the years gone by. Luke Gunn leading a lot of the athletes over there these days. They're always a force to be reckoned with over the cross country at Bucks, and the distances on the track as well.
Well, the junior men don't do the extension part of this course until the end of their second lap, so Will Barnicoat had a bit more time on his own for now. I think I just saw Mark Hookway with his cameras filming a little bit of this race.
Did a great preview of some of these races, Mark Hookway, over on his YouTube channel. He's a coach that loves, eats, breathes and sleeps the sport, I think. You can always find some footage from some old Watford Opens on his YouTube channel.
Always like to give Mark a shout out. Does a hell of a lot of good for the sport. His footage as well is, I don't know how he gets in so many places at once around the course. He's like a magician.
I think he's got a few people helping him out these days with tripods. Always got to be careful what you say if you're chatting to Mark while he's got the camera up though, because sound does come through on the videos.
Will Barnicoat, lap 2 Good opportunity for him to look over his shoulder there. Can't quite see anybody yet.
He's got a massive lead. No need to look behind anymore. I think he's just checking to verify that. And he'll be looking ahead now, just chipping away. I wonder if sometimes having a lead of this size perhaps doesn't get the best out of you in terms of how fast you can run. I'm sure he's going to win this by some margin if he continues the way he is. But he's definitely not got any pressure on him at this point in time.
Well, he is striding away with it, and I think Flynn Jennings is in a good position at the moment, so is Zach Orton and Lewis Small as part of that chasing group, and they will dwindle as they go around over the next few K. I just wonder if they'll try and do a Barnicoat and strike by home early. You put yourself at risk there, don't you? You're isolated for 3K or so, and it's a lonely old jog home.
Yeah, it's almost more risk for this chase group as well, because they know at this point they're fighting for the minor medals. He just waves at one of his Birmingham Uni teammates there. Will's having a great time leading out this national championship, looking to repeat his result from last year.
Well, it's not often that people win it back to back. You'd expect him to do so. There's been some great winners over the last few years. Zach Mohammed, his brother Mohammed Mohammed, Ellis Cross as well, Rory Leonard. So athletes that win this title do often go on to achieve more things in the sport.
It's currently Flynn Jennings of Bideford in that second place spot, just leading a train of the chase group. They'll be biding their time, either waiting for someone to make their move or planning that move of their own. It's quite a baptism of fire when these junior men fall out the top of this age group and into the senior ranks. This goes from almost the smallest fields of the day to the largest, and the distance just goes up.
Yeah, boys become men very quickly, don't they? And it's, yeah, as you say, a harsh step up. Well, I think we've had a few changes in our chasing pack. As always, you get athletes that drop on and off the course. There is Barnicoat just at the bottom of the picture, well and away.
That's a great view there, just shows how much of a lead he's put into this group. And they're just coming out and kind of 2 corners behind him at this point, which I reckon that's about 300 metres by now.
Yeah, it's got to be close, hasn't it? Well, Matt Ramsden of Blackburn has done really well to get back up. This is the third pack, or the second set of chasers. Bit of a push there, wow. Not quite sure who that was. These are the athletes from about 7th onwards. There is the main chasing pack in front of them, some 60 metres away.
That's a Salford athlete at the front there, just trying to pick out the number.
Well, Ramsden of Blackburn at the front. Well, here is Will Barnicoat. It looks like way back behind. Ben Brown of Southampton is currently in second. Well, this is the change of direction. Barnicoat is going left. He's going to cross the road and head out and beyond the cars and beyond the traffic and onto a new patch of course which is fresh and ready for running.
And you can tell the difference just on that little patch of grass up there. We saw him run across there. Untrodden ground. Might even be a place where you can extend that lead even further. Looks like Oliver Cook of Salford just leading that third group, if you like. We've got the chase pack here, which is down to 5. Only 2 of these can get in and amongst the medals at this point, unless something very unexpected happens at the front end, which I think is quite unlikely by this point.
Well, here's this new part of the course. Brown is there, Jennings is there, Ponter is there. We are flicking between different sections of the course. We've got plenty still chasing. Aldershot athletes are there. A couple of Crawley athletes. What a long journey they will have had up to Chester. Well, they're starting to stride along now. And they go around this hedge, and it's quite a sharp left turn as they will see the rest of this field in front of them. Head towards the main road.
You can see a few groups kind of forming where the athletes are getting broken up. That's where you find yourself settling into a rhythm, but also not wanting to settle for the pace of the group and keep pushing for those places. It's a fine balance of these races. At the same time, you don't want to find yourself on your own. It's a lot harder.
Well, the course is still good underfoot. I think if I was some of the senior men just looking around at the moment, I'd be very confident that we can pick up the pace and push it at pretty much all corners of the course.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of mud here, but if this is the worst of the course, that's probably the best national course underfoot that I've seen for some years. And it's not mud that's carrying with them. It's not wet underfoot. It's a little bit clay there, maybe a little bit sticky, but it's really not slowing them down. As you can see, they're rounding that corner with ease. These athletes just further back in the field.
Yeah, they're not wearing the mud, are they? So, which is a good sign.
Makes for a much nicer car journey home when you haven't got dried mud underneath your tights.
Yeah, big time. I mean, I've not seen any showers. Sure, there's plenty of wet wipes and stuff like that. They can go in the lake.
Perhaps that's the 75th anniversary treat for these boys.
Yeah, dip in the lake. 75 years, what a long old journey. Well, you can just scope, because the houses and buildings all the way in the back, that's pretty much how far they are running on this section of the course. They go a long way away. You can see them looping this fence. This is the soul destroying part of the course, I feel, for the junior men and the senior men. It is a really long old route on your own. Will Barnicoat there is in the lead. He is on his own and still has, well, probably about a kilometre or so to go.
He's really stretching this out as well. You can just see he looks relaxed. There's absolutely no one in sight. You could probably count the seconds and figure out how far his lead is at this point, but I wouldn't be surprised if he wins this race by well over a minute.
It's going to be an emphatic victory for Will Barnicoat. To keep composed when you're that far ahead is really tough, and to keep on the pace is even more difficult. It's so tempting, certainly around those quiet parts of the course, to just take your foot off the gas and jog it home, but that's why he is the number one.
For sure. I mean, he could settle in the effort that he's put in now and just tempo it home, like you say. but when you're European champion, you're a racer at heart. He knows that anything can happen, but at the same time, I think he probably knows how far away he is now. And why not stretch it out if you can? It's a very impressive run.
Well, these are some beautiful fields. We've had the pleasure of using this year's National Cross. Bosworth Castle, a fantastic home for us up here in the north. You don't often see this in cross country, do you? A solo run. I know we had it with Innes Fitzgerald earlier and the under-17s, but it's a lot shorter distance. But for a 10k cross country race at junior level, I've never quite seen a win like this.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to hear what pace he's running, actually, although we have spoken about how in cross country that really doesn't factor, but with the ground being so good today, he's probably running along at quite a nice clip. I'm quite excited to see what he does throughout this year once he gets on the track, as he's showing his good form today and really getting it moving over the cross country. Perhaps he's got his watch on, maybe we'll find out afterwards.
Check up on Strava later. National champ, hashtag 2-time. Well, this is a great opportunity, isn't it? Not many will have won this title back to back.
No, and AFD also brought home the team title last year. He'll be looking to repeat that. Not seen many Aldershot athletes too close behind him. Have to wait and see how things settle on the team side of things.
Well, this is the extension part of the course. Barnicoat just weaving his way round now and heading back towards home. It's around about 1.7 kilometres this part, so it's a tough old route. And I think we have there Joe Ponter, supported by Ben Brown of Southampton, the top two chasers in that silver and bronze medal position. That's what it looks like at the moment. Made a good move around these fields, using the space and distance to try and stretch away.
Yep, Joe Ponter from Taunton AC. Finished 6th at English schools last year. So he's improving on that form. Try and get on the podium at the National this year. You can see George Cootie on the screen there. Early leader. Back in 3rd or 4th.
He's done really well. He's not a name that would have popped up on anybody's lists, I'm sure, but he has really shown his qualities, George Cootie.
Yeah, he's the only athlete entered from his club, Harrogate Harriers, in this race.
Who is that? Up on their own.
I think that's Flynn Jennings, potentially the Bideford athlete. So what was a group of 5 or 6, it's pretty much 5 or 6 lads all on their own now, with less than a K to go, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think when he comes down this field and he'll drop down in a nice straight line and start to work his way home. I think this is the battle for second and third at the moment, Ben Brown and Ponta. I think this is Flynn Jennings.
Yep, just sitting in fourth there. Coates in fifth.
Well, loads of athletes still working their way around this course. We had some cracking old races today. This is number 9 of them. Some of the athletes here in the top 10 to 15 region. Had a good tussle all afternoon. Well, I get a feeling that Will Barnicoat's going to be heading towards the finishing straight very shortly. As they cross the road again, that is Ben Brown. Barnicoat is coming down the home straight to take victory here. Well, he is the European cross-country champion from Italy back in November. He won this title 12 months ago, and Will Barnicoat of Aldershot Farnham District will take the gold once again in emphatic style. 31.5 minutes on his own, and that is an impressive run, Philly.
It's great to see him high-fiving some of his teammates there, probably some uni friends along the finish. And why not when you've got a lead of that size? It's definitely a little bit of showmanship that is allowed when you win with such style. And we're going to keep an eye on the time to see how far he has won this race by. He's going to be waiting around for a while, I think. You can just see the second place finisher coming in to the finish. Is that the Southampton athlete, Ben Brown?
Ben Brown just coming through the finish. He's going to pick up the silver, and there he is, just trailing in behind him. Is Taunton's Joe Ponta, we believe. A great run from him.
And they do look to be a little bit more spaced out in this race further back into the top 10. There's quite a bit of daylight between these athletes, and I think that's the effect of Will Barnicoat stretching this race out from the start.
It was brave, wasn't it? He didn't have to do it that way. I'm sure he could have outkicked anyone in this field, but it was a brave old run to do that.
See George Cootie just crossing the line there. I think he might have got fifth or sixth with a little bit of time leading the race out at the start. It's a great run from him.
Yeah, brave from that man as well. To appreciate it was only for the first K or so, but to take it out when you've got Will Barnicoat in your race, the European champion, not just the guy that won it 12 months ago, but the European champion.
Absolutely. Putting himself up there and rewarded, you know, comfortably in the top 10.
Well, only one more race to come, and that is the senior men's race, 12 kilometres. It will be fast, it will be fierce, and it will be on your screens in around about 6 minutes time, 11.5 K. Plenty of action to come, and only one more for your screens. for the National 2023. We'll be back in 5 minutes as we leave you with these pictures of the junior men's race.